Hey guys, what's up? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. In this video, I want to talk about the expectations and the reality of UX design. First and foremost, I want to apologize. I've been sneezing all morning. My sinuses are all messed up. So if you hear me sniffle and sneeze and whatever, my apologies. Hopefully I get through this video and you get a few golden nuggets from this. My hope is I provide you with a few golden nuggets that will make you a better UX designer going forward. Now, let's talk about the expectations and the reality of UX design. All right. I got an email from somebody, and I've touched on this in several other videos, but I want to continue to talk about this because it's very important. I got an email from somebody. It was like, Mike, just landed a job. I look like a joke trying to adhere to the UX design process. This company doesn't even care about that. They just want me to get things done, etc. I want to talk about this. The truth is there's expectations of what we as UX designers, as designers, hear, read, learn, and then there's the reality of the day-to-day process in an organization, right? No matter where you go. First off, the expectation is this. The expectation is, and we see this, that companies are marketing for UX designers. They want designers that are highly proficient in understanding the UX design methods and principles, okay? And the ability to design from a user-centered perspective, okay? That's the market, that's what companies are marketing for. Us as designers are what we expect, the expectation that we see around us through blog articles, through the academies that we attend, through the master's degree that we achieve, through certain master's degree programs, getting our degrees in human computer interaction, right? It's this expectation, and the conferences that we go to, the expectation is we go to a company and we run through this process and we're able to abide by everything that we learn. There's this kickoff meeting, there's these objectives that are given, we branch out, we have time to brainstorm, we have several days to brainstorm. We have all these different whiteboard sessions, sticky note sessions, and things like that. We have time to, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. We have time to visit clients and customers. We can speak to customers prior to doing any design work. We learn about all their different expectations and their pain points and things like that. We start wireframing, we start paper prototyping, we bring customers in, we can even show them these things prior to us doing any design work. We move on, we do some design work, we're prototyping, we bring customers in, we sit behind a two-way mirror, we observe several different qualified customers interacting with this highly interactive application that we designed through InVision or whatever prototyping tool that we use. They interact with it, they give us their feedback, we move on, we make changes, modifications, we take that over to product development, we start supporting development through that life cycle, through QA, we get this pushed out into the marketplace, customers are happy, our stakeholders, our leaders, go to conferences and speak, and they're happy, and they identify us and mention us as, a big part of this success. Customers are happy, stock prices are going up, and you're able to feel good about yourself, right? As a UX designer. That's the expectation. The reality is, it's not like that, okay? And that's why it's important for you to understand this takeaway. You have to come equipped with three things, which I'll talk about. Your ability to think critically, design skills, and like high fidelity visual design skills, and your ability to get things done, your ability to ship, right? Those are the three things which I'll talk about in a second. But the reality is this. You get with, my eyes are watering because I'm feeling about to sneeze, but you deal with you go to a company, your business leader, what you have to realize, this is the reality. The reality is your business leaders, your CEOs, your stakeholders, they're in the battle of the marketplace to get their products out in the market. They're not in business to abide by certain UX design, best practices or rules, right? They expect you to bring that to the table, but that's not their core objective. Their core objective is to get the product out in the marketplace and have great user experience, have their customers have a great user experience, and stock prices go up and sales go up and things like that. Bottom line increases, right? That's what they're in business to do. And in some cases, they have objectives on what they need to get done. And it could be, hey, we need to get something out tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. In that particular process, from giving you an objective to getting it out, you might not have time to adhere to the entire process. So you have to understand that. So how do you approach that? You have to go from, in every situation, what's tried and true, there is a kickoff. All right. Now the kickoff meeting or the kickoff discussion can happen in several different ways. It can happen through a discussion in a hallway. It can happen over an email. It can happen over a phone call. It could happen in a sit down 30-minute meeting or an hour meeting, right, where you're discussing on a whiteboard, looking at competitors. The point here is there's an exchange of objective. We want to accomplish X. We want to copy Facebook. We want to produce an app that looks like Instagram. We want to build something that looks like Salesforce. We want to do this, right? Now, the thing is, there's an exchange of an object. That's the kickoff, right? Now, through that, this is where critical thinking comes in. Critical thinking, your ability to think logically through all these situations, will force you to ask questions in return, and an exchange will happen between you and that particular meeting, or that person who's given the objective, right? That's what we call the kickoff meeting. In that situation, through process of elimination, you will eliminate so many things, and you know where you need to go, right? So if it's like 2 weeks from now where you have to launch a product, you've now done some logical thinking initially in order for you to start designing, okay? And using critical thinking, web best practices, and your experience, knowing that, hey, I'm not going to confuse, I'm not building Snapchat here, I'm not building any confusing interfaces. You can design something and ship something, get something out in production, and have a pretty high rate of success with that. But you have to have that critical thinking, that part there, that where you think through every step of the way from that kickoff to design to launching, right? Now, somebody will say, Mike, well, what's the UI, UX, what's the process? Is the process even valuable? The UX design process, is it even valuable, right? Of course it is. It's there for you as a blueprint. It's there for you to eliminate any creative block. If you don't know what you're doing and you need the process, that's what the process is there for. An example is, I know 2 painters, right? We do a lot of real estate, construction and things like that. 2 different types of painters. One likes to prep the windows and the corners and edges and things like that. Another one doesn't like to prep. They just go for it. Both, the results from both of them are excellent. 10 out of 10 customers love the stuff that they do. Is one right or is one wrong? No. But if you don't know what you're doing and you have time, you want to prep, you want to get things right, or you want to make sure that you don't have the experience, so forth, in painting without going over the edges, you need to prep. Same with the process. If you aren't sure where you're going and you want a higher rate of success, you want to go through all your checks and balances, then you need to bring customers in. You want to showcase this to users. You want to learn about their limitations. You want to learn about how the users are doing this and that, right? If you have time, you do that. If not, you have to abide by what is most of the time the reality of the situation, right? In not all cases, you have the luxury of abiding by the entire UI, UX design process. But you have to be aware of this and come equipped with critical thinking, visual UI design skills, and your ability to get things done, your ability to ship. Because if you can do those things, you will always be ready and be able to adjust and succeed in any type of environment. If you ship quickly, you fail quicker, you'll learn from that, and you iterate on that process, right? But it's important for you to understand this, because if you go about wanting to stick to this process, you go out and get your degree in human-computer interaction, and you're going to these conferences and you're learning from all these thought leaders about this is how you do UX design, and they're treating it like a verb, like an action, right? This is how you do it at every single company you work with. You will find yourself being frustrated, being, in a twilight zone of like, wait a minute, I learned this, but this is not the reality. And it's really important for you to know this. Anyway, if you're interested in any of the things that I'm speaking about, and you want to learn the way I teach product UI, UX design, you can visit my site right there, ML UX Academy. For anyone who's serious, if you're not looking to grow as a UI UX designer, you pretty much already understand how to do this, my course is probably not for you. But if you're just now getting started, if you're wanting to learn it the way I teach, visit my site, ML UX Academy. I have training videos there. I have a membership there where you can learn all the things that I'm teaching right now in UI, UX design best practices, portfolio tips and advice, also motivational podcasts I have there. So check that out. Hit me up. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer those for you. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk soon. Peace.